We are back with you live once again on another Johnny Torch Live broadcast. Welcome in to Johnny Torch Live number 147, Torch News Roundup number 132. So, welcome in everybody, and hope you checked out yesterday's impromptu video where we took a look at the new Joker trailer for Todd Phillips' Joker. A lot of trailer stuff coming around, so I figured I could, knock that one out in about 30 minutes, and we'll do a official Torch News Roundup here, where we'll talk about all the rest of the news of the week in pop culture and comic book related properties. All right, so first off, if you haven't, please check out my comic, The Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye. You'll find the link in the description below. You could also find my link to my Twitter page where we do all kinds of exciting things, and we'll talk more about that on the next exciting episode. Today we're going to get more into just the topics here. We'll talk some more about Bullets Bourbon Comics coming up because I'm very excited about the newest issue going to be released hopefully soon, certainly next month. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about with that, but let's get to the subject at hand. Of course, please like, share, and subscribe and do all those great things that you are always admonished to do with any other YouTuber. And I got some competition. Gee, I just looked. Young Rippa is doing a stream. Ethan Van Sciver is doing a stream. Who the heck is possibly going to watch Johnny Torch do a live stream? But if you are one of the wise few who would choose yours truly over some of the greats of YouTube, then I thank you humbly. And the chat room is always open for any comments. I'll try to address them if I see them, as soon as I see them. All right, so let us move on now to our first subject. Let's see. Okay. First up, there is more casting news for Eternals, the MCU's latest endeavor that they're going to try to get adapted. Let's see. The Hollywood Reporter reports that Kumail Nanjiani, and again, I apologize if I'm butchering that name, which I probably am. Kumail Nanjiani. That's the way that's the way I'm going to pronounce it. Kumail Nanjiani is in negotiations to come aboard. No details on his character have been provided, but the trades seemingly confirm that Angelina Jolie will play Cersei, a more outgoing Eternal who has not been afraid to move amongst humankind. Nanjiani, who was nominated for an Oscar for co-writing The Big Sick with wife Emily Gordon, can next be seen in the first Twilight Zone episode from CBS, and then on the big screen in Sony's Men in Black International. All right, so again, I'm not familiar with this actor, but I am especially not familiar with the Eternals. Now, this sounds to me very much like the Inhumans, and it's possibly where it got its origins, seeing as how they were both created by Jack King Kirby. But yeah, see, this is Inhumans had the benefit of Stan Lee writing it. It's like the Eternals are pretty much Jack Kirby unfettered, I think. And while I have nothing against Kirby, of course, one of the all-time legendary greats, I don't know, I've never really caught into his New Gods, to his well, I haven't seen Eternals, so I couldn't say, but most of that stuff that he came up with, I never really took to. So hopefully this one will win me over, and I'll be interested in it, in seeing it in theaters. They got a lot of hype on it. They're trying to, they're still playing sort of the woke card, where this is supposed to front and center a gay character / actor in the MCU. Again, it depends how woke the MCU is going to be going forward. to the level of my interest. They're kind of pushing their luck at this point. A lot of people felt it with Captain Marvel. I particularly think it goes back as far as Homecoming. I think they started pushing this sort of new agenda of it doesn't matter really how great the story is as long as we're pushing the diversity buttons that everybody was so concerned about. And I guess Kevin Feige doesn't mind pushing the MCU in that direction since he already got all the established characters out of the way. I mean, we didn't have this kind of thing going on with Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, but now it's become sort of the the point that they're all trying to focus on. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes from here. All right, we have some more news in way of casting. It's official that Viola Davis is going to return to James Gunn's Suicide Squad 2, aka The Suicide Squad, and she is going to return as Amanda Waller. Now, she was really a very good choice for Amanda Waller. Yes, she's probably about, I don't know, maybe 120 pounds too light for the role, if you want to be specific. But, you know, there's very few actresses that are going to be obese that are going to survive long enough to play a sequel to Suicide Squad. CC Pounder did a great job in the animated series. But again, this was something that seemed to be a foregone conclusion, but is comforting to see being confirmed. And also, the trades, as they say, are reporting that more news for James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Idris Elba is apparently not going to play Deadshot. Now, I thought this was the case. A lot of people were jumping the gun and saying Elba's going to replace Will Smith, not the kid. I said, I don't think they're going to do that because you kind of want to keep Will Smith on board. Now, he may never come back as Deadshot. He may be done. Even in his own mind, he may already have said to himself he's done. But you want to keep that door open for an actor like Will Smith. And why close the door on him playing Deadshot when you can have Idris Elba play another character? He's a great actor, and as I said before, he doesn't give off the same vibe as Will Smith. They're not the same type of actor, you know? So it's pretty difficult slotting somebody into a pre-established character and then having people accept it. And again, with a setup like Suicide Squad, you don't need it. You really don't. You can plug characters in left and right. And I'm surprised that they're actually using as many of the original characters as they are, especially when James Gunn has gone on record saying this is absolutely positively, definitely not a sequel. This is a reboot, or one of Hollywood's favorite terms now, the soft reboot. This isn't a reboot. This is a sequel. You know what I mean? Come on, don't pull my chain with this. This is a sequel. This is a direct sequel. We already got Jai Courtney back. We've got Viola Davis back. We've got Margot Robbie, I think, has also been confirmed at this point to be back as Harley Quinn. You know, how many actors do you need from the previous film to count this as a sequel? I mean, if they had gotten Will Smith back, all the more. How could you not call this a sequel? Now, like I said, there's a different entry point for the story. I'm sure it's not going to have to do with Enchantress. It's not going to have to do with Rick Flag. He may not even be in the film at all, but that doesn't really negate the fact that this is a sequel. So all you guys out there, all you bozos running around saying this isn't a sequel, come on, come off it. The only time I think I've actually seen a non-sequel with, I don't even want to say the same cast, but the same star. Ghost Rider, A Spirit of Vengeance. It still has the same principal star, also starring Idris Elba, by the way. And it didn't keep the same continuity because in Spirit of Vengeance, they have it that Johnnie purposefully sells his soul to the devil, where in the original Ghost Rider, it's more of an accident that he kind of didn't really know what he was doing. That's what you call a soft reboot, when you kind of try to alter the backstory. Although, to be honest with you, you remove that one line and it's a sequel. It's an honest to goodness sequel. All right, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you excited for The Suicide Squad? Are you excited that it's kind of shaping up to be a sequel? I know a lot of people didn't really like the original film, or at the very least, they're not head over heels over it. But I thought it was very good. I thought it was enjoyable, and I think this one will be just as good. I'm hoping. See, it's tough because David Ayer did the original Suicide Squad, and I think he put in a lot of stuff that I think was, you know, to his interests, like the tattoos, the grill, or whatever it is that the Joker has in his mouth in lieu of teeth. And I'm not sorry to lose all that if we could kind of get away from that. But I am kind of I am kind of concerned of where they're going if James Gunn is in the lead chair, because he has a sense of humor that is, well, if you've seen any of his tweets, you probably can call it reprehensible. But even in the Guardians of the Galaxy films, it isn't quite my cup of tea. So if this is a more restrained James Gunn, and they sort of clamped down and said, look, we don't want you to don't get too crazy, this could be fun. This could be right up his alley. I think it is. But again, I just hope they don't go with a lot of crass jokes and stuff. I mean, the original Suicide Squad had its share in Guardians of the Galaxy films, but I just hope they don't go down that path. All right, so moving on. As I said, let me know what you think in the comments below about the Suicide Squad. Excited? Not excited? What do you think? All right, we are going to take a look now at some images from the Birds of Prey movie. This is something pretty interesting, and well, we're gonna give thanks to Just Jared for snapping up these pics. This is Margot Robbie, and this is nice. I like this. She's got like blue eyeliner over one eye and purple eyeliner over the other eye, because she's got more muted colors in her hair. That does seem a lot more of the Harlequin look, the mismatched colors. I mean, it's sort of a tribute to the original costume, isn't it? The Batman the Animated Series costume, where she has, black on one side, red on the other. And this kind of looks like it's in that vein. Very nice. This, of course, I think shooting is just wrapping. So, all right, this is another shot where we can take a look at some of these detailed designs on her coat. Another costume. It seems like she's got several in this film. And this is where she looks like she has the dog tag or whatever that is there. It's kind of shaped like a bow maybe. And I think it says Bruce on it, which was very interesting. She looks like she's in a jewelry store here, which again is another interesting thing. Her hair is not dyed too darkly, which suggests maybe this is later in the film. Not sure. Again, I'm really excited about this. I'm hoping it's going to be good. I'm hoping it's not going to be another R-rated fest like Joker. One more shot. This is a full shot where you can see she's wearing some glittery pants. There's some flames on that jacket. Very interesting. Or maybe she's outside a jewelry store. I'm not sure. Looking through the window, perhaps. And we got one more. This is Harley once again with Cassandra Cain. It looks like she's going to do a lot of babysitting of Cassandra. They've got that stuffed beaver, which I guess is stuffed. I don't think it's real. And it looks like Harley's crying. She looks like she's in the same outfit from the last scene. And she's in that 70s car or whatever that we've seen her tooling around the streets before. Very interesting. Again, I don't know how this is all going to wrap up in in a Birds of Prey movie, because mostly what we've seen, I guess most of these outdoor shots have been of Harley Quinn. We got a brief glimpse of Black Canary earlier on in the year. We've got a video for that too, but most of all the other videos I've been chronicling the outfit changes of one Harley Quinn. And it's interesting too that uh, we got a glimpse of the Huntress, I think. Very generic looking. Um, last episode before the Joker trailer review, we did the Joker cameo that he's going to have in this film. Allegedly, there was a glimpse of Black Mask, although that could have been anyone. I don't know. It was possibly a stunt double. But yep, Harley is in some pretty upset circumstances here, and I just want to give her a big hug. I don't know if it'll make her feel better, but it'll make me feel better. All right, so let's move on here now. And we're going to be taking on, again, this is old news because I've been busy. I've been so busy, man. We're going to take on I'm going to call it the final Avengers trailer. Although I don't know if this was actually qualified as a trailer. They just now came out with a, what do they call that? Like just a clip, just a scene. I'm trying to stay away from those. I don't, I'm pretty sure that they are going to, with the movie being 3 hours, have plenty of surprises, plenty of thrills. I'm sure that it wouldn't be ruining anything if I see the clip. So I may see it, but I haven't seen it yet. I think it's the scene around the table when they're talking. Uh, this is Iron Man. I thought at first this might be from a flashback from Avengers, the first one, but people say that he doesn't have the gold legs in that movie. I'm not sure. I thought he had the gold legs a couple of times. I thought it was in the first movie, and I thought it was definitely in Iron Man 3 when he had so many different suits. But this might be the first time, and they're saying they're going to go out with him wearing that. So that's cool. It's nice to see the traditional Iron Man armor here. Alrighty, let's see. We also have, again, this is not entirely in order, but I'll try to do it as quickly as I can remember. We've got Thor. Again, Thor looks so depressed and so dejected in this entire all the scenes we've seen of him. I have not seen him. Not that I think that these guys are going to be cracking wise and joking and smiling. Well, he did have that scene with Captain Marvel where he was somewhat in better spirits. Just give an Asgardian a girl, can of mead, and he's all set, right? And here it looks like he's having some bread. It's like that's kind of the reason why I wanted to focus on this clip, because the way he's like picking on that bread, it's dire straits. There's probably not much really else to eat. I mean, half the world's population is gone, and that must be a slower work rate for farmers, people making bread and stuff. That's got to be a consequence. And I don't know what it is he's drinking there. It could be it looks like a Mountain Dew or something, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, doesn't look that happy. And of course, he's lost a lot. He's lost a lot, Thor. All right, let's see. We also have the great reunion here between Pepper and Tony. I don't know. They seem to purposely be trying to make Tony and Pepper look older, which they're not that old. I mean, what's Robert Downey Jr.? He's in his early 50s. I mean, you put a can of, well, I don't know what they use, the Grecian Plus or something in his hair, and he still passes for like a 42-year-old or something. And ditto for Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean, she's not that old. Put a little more makeup on her, and she'll still look like the first Avengers movie. But that doesn't seem to be what they're going for. It reminds me of Star Trek 6, where for some reason they wanted William Shatner to get gray, and Captain Kirk looking gray. That was as a kid, that really threw me. I was like, wow, wasn't like the last movie he was like, he he looked young and stuff, and now they're kind of like trying to tell us that like in 3 years time now he looks like he's middle aged. I don't know, but the same kind of thing is happening here. I think they're purposely aging up these two because they want to kind of put them off into retirement. I think that's what's going to happen. Because you want to talk about who's going to die, who's going to live. I'm pretty sure that both these two kids are going to live and they're going to get their happily ever after. Um, but again, yeah, it seems like they're telegraphing something there that I'm not sure. All right, let's see. We have Tony's feeling guilty. When does Tony not feel guilty? This poor guy, you talk about Thor. He suffered throughout the entire MCU. The guy's always feeling guilty. And I can't really read that because it's upside down, which is the joke, of course, but I think it says Stark Industries, Pepper Potts or something. I think Pepper awarded him something, I guess, Peter. Pepper Potts awarded Peter Parker a prestigious prize. Say that 5 times fast and send it to me, and you'll get a prestigious prize. Okay, yeah, that's again, I'm not too fond of the relationship between Peter and Tony in these films. I don't want to sound like a naysayer or a Debbie Downer on these things, but I don't know. It works okay in the Avengers films, but the way it worked out in Homecoming I thought was pretty poor. You know, Peter is supposed to be responsive to Uncle Ben, and turning Tony Stark into an Uncle Ben character, that just doesn't work for me. I don't know. They really need to evoke Uncle Ben in Far From Home. That really would save it, I think, in my mind. But, you know, you have the most important person in Peter Parker's life absent. Oh, the mere mention of him absent. You're doing something wrong, and that's kind of what's disappointing to me. All right, here's Hawkeye, aka Ronan. And what has he done to himself? He's got this big makeover he's done. He's got that kind of mohawk, the mohawk look, but a sleeve. The man has a sleeve now. Jeez, this grief has really done something to him. He's got like a well, I guess that's where he gets the name Ronin. He's got some kind of samurai with a skull face tattooed all up and down his arm. And again, I'm a big fan of Hawkeye. I just hope they're going to do him justice here because Jeremy Renner really deserves it. He really deserves. I'd like to say he deserves his own movie, but I mean, I don't really see where they could take him the way they treated him. As I said before, I really didn't like the backstory they gave him as a family man and stuff. It doesn't suit him well going forward and telling his story. That's why they have an out with Black Widow, where you can be more crazy with the Black Widow origin and so forth. But if you give Hawkeye a movie, I honestly don't know what you do with him. You could go back to his beginning and see how he got into Shield. Not sure. Here's Black Widow. We were talking about Black Widow, as a matter of fact. She's crying in the rain. Another heroine I'd like to comfort, as it were. But we'll let Hawkeye do that. No, he's a married man. I don't know. Maybe his family will come back. Not sure about that. All right, let's see. Hunter Iggy says, Johnny Torch, did you check out Dwayne Johnson Instagram video about, he said that Black Adam will start filming about year. I heard something about that. I didn't see the video. I got to check it out because I'm not on Instagram, but I got to check it out. But that's very exciting because I'd like to see, well, I haven't seen Shazam yet, so no spoilers in the comments. But I'd like to see him finally, debut against Shazam, which is his classic nemesis in the comics. So I really hope that Shazam does well enough to get a sequel. I mean, even if they don't start off Black Adam against Shazam, they gotta meet at some point. You gotta have him in the sequel. All right, so let's see. Something's going on there. Okay. Let's see here. And we get Captain Marvel. Yes, Captain Marvel. They snuck in a little bit more of a smile in this version of the trailer here, so she looks a little bit more pleasant. Getting a lot of criticism for Captain Marvel not smiling, and so they wanted to point out to you that yes, indeed, she can smile, and she can smile at Thor pretty easily, right? You know what I'm saying? That's pretty cool. A lot of people are saying maybe something's going to happen between them two romantically in the movie. I don't know. I mean, they kind of were trying to set up Valkyrie and him, I think. At least that's what it seemed like. And I don't know. I don't know which is more preferable, but yeah, there's the Black Widow again. She looks so cute there. I want to pinch your little cheeks. And this is apparently too where she's a little bit further on in the movie because you can see her blonde hair is like growing out. Back to the red roots. No, not back to the red room. Don't worry, Natasha. You don't have to go back there. But back to the red roots. Okay. Let's see. We've got a nice shot here of Rocket and Nebula, which I thought was pretty cool to see these two get together because both of them are kind of kindred spirits, right? They both kind of have suffered from being unmade and then made. And, it's kind of nice to see them paired up here as, sort of soulmates, as it were. But yeah, I've been saying all along, if anyone's going to kill Thanos this time, I'm really pushing for Nebula. I think she deserves it. She's been through a lot. It's kind of tough because Drax's whole reason for living seems to be to kill Thanos. So if you don't give it to Drax, I don't know. But of course, we're theorizing that Drax will come back before Thanos dies. I don't know if that happens. But again, that's cool. That is very cool. Let's see. We got a couple more here. Let's take a look at a couple more images. Uh, this is the big group picture. You like this one, the big group picture, where all the surviving Avengers get together. I love it. I love Ant-Man there, Paul Rudd. It looks like Rocket's wearing his I think they're calling it the Quantum Realm suit. He's still wearing that. I guess maybe he's wearing the prototype. He's the first one. And it looks like Natasha's like holding her shoulder or something. I don't know if that means she's been in a fight or something. So, and yes, this is, I think we get confirmation here that Cap and Tony have made up. They shake hands and make up earlier on in this trailer. So that is something we did not know was going to happen, right? Again, I'm just being mean, but yep, these guys are getting back together. They're getting the band back together. They better say, I want Cap to say Avengers Assemble. That would make my day. And yeah, again, I mean, I did that video a couple of episodes back, but nothing against Chris Evans. He's boss playing Captain America. I love the texture on his shoulder here. Do you see this? That looks like it's straight out of the comics. I love that when they show the chainmail look. Of course, it's not chainmail, but it's got that look to it. Really, really cool. I don't like so much that they gave him the Winter Soldier like dark navy blue suit. I like the lighter one. We see it later in the trailer, so he's gonna have it. But I'm saying that's the issue. But see, they're making up. It seemed like it took the longest time, right? Wasn't it like 3 years and 5 movies in between? Um, what's it called? Civil War, and now they're finally making up. Well, the world is at stake, so it needs to happen. But I mean, I hope that they make up for the right reasons. You know what I mean? I don't want them to make up just because the world's at stake. I want them to make up because they know that each has the other's back, right? That's why you want them to make up. All right, so here they are. This is why Captain Marvel is here, folks. She's in the rocket ship. She knows how to fly the spaceship. So here she is, and she's got the classic costume on here, so it don't look like they've changed much. Most of them here wearing their classic costumes. This is early, I guess, in the movie because you can see, Black Widow still got the blonde hair, and it seems like they're going somewhere. Parts unknown, destination unknown. And let's see. We got to get a shot in here of Thanos, and I forget what the line is. He says, you couldn't live with yourselves, which brought you back to me. So again, I hope Thanos gets some choice dialogue in this film. I really hope he gets some great lines because he had a couple in the last film, and that's what you want. You want to have that fearsome, impressive, presence in the film. That's this is sort of the first time we're seeing him in any of these trailers. I mean, I think we see, his hand or something, but very, very cool, very, very exciting. And again, I got my tickets, so I'm ready to go. And this is the way we end the trailer. The big three. Presumably that's the big three. I guess that's Thor behind his cape, but we got Cap, we got Iron Man, and we see Thanos just sitting there amidst all this destruction and rubble. So it makes you wonder if this is sort of at the end of a battle, or is this just the beginning? Because they look like they're coming on the scene. So could there have been more casualties at this point after he has seen some battle already? So again, a really exciting way to leave us here, leave us wanting more. We've got let me see, how many more weeks left now? Like 2 more weeks, I think, before what, three? No, it's 3 more weeks. 3 more weeks before we get Avengers Endgame. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be spectacular. It's gonna be a spectacle. If I can prognosticate a little bit here, I think it's gonna be something that's gonna live up to everybody's expectations. You know, I'm kind of a little leery of it because I don't like seeing my heroes subject to death and destruction. I don't want to see Captain America die, or Thor, or Iron Man. And I'm also kind of dubious as to what they're going to do with Hulk because I don't like intelligent Hulk. I never liked intelligent Hulk, and I was always worried that's where they were going to go in the MCU, which, you can do the intelligent Hulk story as long as you regress him back eventually. I mean, I'm not saying never touch that storyline, because I think that's eventually what they did is when they had the intelligent Hulk in the 80s and they regressed him to like a complete savage where he couldn't even speak. I wouldn't go that far regressing him, but I mean, you want to keep the Savage Hulk. He's the default Hulk that everybody loves, Hulk smash and all that stuff. So you really want to keep that and go back to that. I'll probably do a video where we're going to talk about uh, the predictions and stuff before Endgame. We'll talk more about it then. We got one more subject tonight before we wrap up, and it's going to be pretty exciting. For me anyway, I am honestly more excited for Cobra Kai season 2 than Endgame, episode 9, all of them put together. I think this is the thing that's exciting me the most. So we're going to talk about this for a minute here, for a long minute. All right, so we get I'm guessing this is the final trailer. I'm not sure. We even got a another sneak peek tonight, another 2-minute scene where we had Crease talking to Johnnie in a diner, like a 50s diner. That would be more suited to Crease, not this 80s stuff that the rest of us are excited about. But I won't really give away that one because that's a sneak peek. Like I said, I don't watch all sneak peeks. I just watch mostly trailers. Trailers is fair game. But if you're gonna give me a clip of the movie, I'll let you decide if you want to see it. But the writing is very smart. I'll say that. I think they've done a lot of improvements on the writing because, at least from what we're seeing in these trailers, because one of the things I was kind of concerned about with the first season was that they were going to push the humor a little too much. Because as much as I love mixing comedy in with stuff, I mean, Karate Kid was not a franchise that was heavily based in comedy. It wasn't comedy laden like, say, Back to the Future, or I don't know, maybe The Goonies or something. That was a little more like sort of tapped into the comedy. Karate Kid sort of had organic comedy. There was, a few laughs because that's the way life is, but it wasn't really a joke a minute. And I think the tenor of this season for Cobra Kai seems to be more in the vein of the original Karate Kid movies. All right, so again, I don't know any particular order here if I'm going to go in, but I just want to touch on some of these images that remind me of what was going on. We got the showdown between Crease and Johnny, which was really good because you got to remember, he even says it in season one that, you got to remember, Crease tried to kill him. I mean, he put him in a chokehold. That isn't something that he's going to welcome him back with open arms. And Johnny was under the impression that Crease died, and he says the famous line, Cobra Kai never dies. So they get into a little bit of a struggle here. I think Kreese sort of showing his dominance, showing that the master is still a little bit further ahead than the student, which was a cool, that was a cool image. Let's see, what else do we have? It's going to be interesting to see, I think, most of all, the relationship between Johnny and Kreese in this. I think that's what everybody was looking forward to, is seeing how they would react. All right, and of course we get the opposite side here with Daniel and Robbie, and they are fixing up the Miyagi hacienda, so to speak. And that's the thing that I love about these guys that are doing the Cobra Kai, is that they are slavishly faithful to the Karate Kid lore, but it comes off as something naturalistic. It doesn't come off like they had to say, "Oh, look, we got to find a place to put the two rules of Miyagi-Do karate. We got to find a place." But no, no, no. It makes sense when he's fixing up this dojo. Why wouldn't you go back to the rules of Miyagi-Do karate? Makes sense. So he puts the Miyagi-Do rule number 1, rule number 2 up, and Robbie is like questioning about it. So again, that's more of a sneak peek than a scene, but that's, they understand. Why can't the the people behind the Star Wars movies be as adept? It's sad to see that they can't, because they they didn't really give us much of anything, in the 2 Star Wars movies to get excited about from the past. They definitely didn't create, good characters like they have in Cobra Kai. I keep wanting to say Karate Kid in Cobra Kai, but these second generation characters in Cobra Kai, these are light years above what they've given us in the Star Wars movies. A lot of people don't like Robbie. I mean, he's all right, he's cool, but I think Miguel is the star. I think if you're gonna you know kind of assign who's the main protagonist here. All right, so again, we've got Daniel fixing things up here. The bonsai trees are back. That was something from all the movies, of course. I think most important in the third movie. So they're not forgetting about the third movie either. We already got Cobra Kai Never Dies. We got the bonsai trees being important. It's important that you don't just neglect the weaker outings, because everybody loves 1 and 2. Karate Kid 3 is like an acquired taste. I mean, I didn't think it was bad per se, but it felt out of place with the other 2. It was kind of erratic. And so one of the things is they're going back to the lesson of balance. That, of course, was something always taught by Miyagi, and kind of a tongue-in-cheek moment where Daniel's telling his wife, "I'm all about the balance." And we go back to some really cool training images here. We get the sand the floor. We get the paint the fence. We get Daniel hammering the nails with 1 strike. It was really cool that they're bringing all this back. And like I said, you can do all this without it feeling slavishly fan servicey. I think they've done a great job doing that. And this must be early because Robbie's arm is still in a sling. All right, let's see. All right, this is interesting. Again, maybe not particularly in order, but we could see some of Daniel's students here. We see, I believe this kid's name was Dimitri. I really liked him in the first season. He was pretty cool because he was like the weak-kneed nerd that was completely okay with being the weak-kneed nerd. And he knew what he was, and he knew what his limitations were, and he was going to stick with that. But it's understandable that it looks like he gets into a skirmish later on in the trailer. So apparently he's going to go to Daniel for some free karate. You know, in the last trailer, Daniel's giving away these lessons for free just to basically stick it to the Cobra Kai. Now, there's a interesting conflict here because a lot of people are like, well, that's not really Miyagi's way. You know, plastic metal trophies are not what you use karate for. Defend honor and you know, safety. That's what Miyagi Do karate's for. But it seems like, I think even Sam says it at one point, that it's like a karate cult taking over the school, and you know Daniel needs to offer a alternative. And I think that's what's cool about this season is they're focusing more on Daniel, because the first season was focused on Johnny. Not to say he's not going to get any attention in this one, but Daniel had next to nothing to do with karate in the first season. He pretty much just went about with the car dealership, and I remember saying that was my least favorite aspect of the first season, where he's just a car salesman. Also, we see this kid here in the background. He was in the other sneak peek where he was trying to sign up for Cobra Kai and he was turned away. I wonder who this guy is. Are they going to have a Miyagi relative come up one of these days? That might be interesting. I'm not sure if they would go so far, but you know, again, that's interesting. Okay, let's see, what else do we got here. I'm spending probably way too long on this. I spent like, I don't know, 10 minutes already, and we just barely scratched the surface. Let's see. This is what I was talking about before. It looks like Dimitri gets into a fight with Hawk, and we could see in the background here this other kid is still there. And I think if I remember correctly, this fight is resolved with Robbie giving a like a roundhouse kick to Hawk, and that's why we see him with a black eye for most of this trailer. You got to remember, these two guys were friends back in the day, back in the first season. So why is this happening? Why is there a confrontation between these two? Well, I think you have to go back to, and let's see if I have an image of it here. Um, you can tell Crease is having a really negative influence on Johnny's students. And he sees Hawk in training, and Crease goes over and tells him, the fight's over when you want it to be over. So he's sort of, you know, he's the negative influence in Cobra Kai. He's the, you know, he's the Palpatine, you know, he's the grand, you know, head of Cobra Kai. And the interesting thing is Johnny seems to be working with him. I'm not exactly sure what that relationship is, but we see it several times in the trailer that he's working side by side with him. I don't know if it's because he needs the financial help, maybe. I'm not sure. Or if he's buying into whatever Kreese is selling. Here they are together. This is a scene of them together. And it's, I don't know, they're in a cement mixer or something. And obviously looks like they are working in tandem. All right, let's see. It looks like from that same scene, we go to Kreese confronting Daniel, and he says, "I hope your soldiers are ready," or something like that. And Daniel says, "Soldiers, they're kids, you know." So this was pretty cool to see Kreese confronting Daniel, coming back from the dead for the second time. Kreese can't die; he can't be killed. He's like Murdoch. You can't kill him. You can't keep him down. You know, the interesting thing is I always imagined that Kreese is the same character. I can't remember his name right now because I haven't seen the movie in a couple of years, but he's the same character he played in Rambo 2. Remember that? First Blood Part 2. Ah, glad you came home or whatever, and Rambo decks him with the gun. I always thought that was him. It's probably the same character. He's just he just got out of the military. You know, he got out of the military and did the Cobra Kai, and then he came back to do some work. All right, so let's take a quick look at some of these other things here. We have obviously there's going to be a romance here between Sam and Robbie, and this really didn't occur to me at first, but this is sort of, they're going for the Romeo and Juliet thing here. they're going for because I really don't see Robbie as Johnny's son because they're so estranged. But the son of the Karate Kid, Daniel, and the son of Cobra Kai, Johnny. I mean, did I say the son? I mean the daughter of Daniel. It makes for an interesting element to this show. That would make it even more interesting element if it was the son of Daniel. But yeah, that's kind of an interesting way to go. I'm not sure a lot of people are going to respond well to this, but I think it's going to be interesting. Let's see. We got Miyagi back in flashback here, or well, not flashback, but a quick visual reminder that he is the heart and soul of this, and you gotta be happy that they keep referencing him, because without Miyagi, there really isn't a Karate Kid, right? There's no Karate Kid without Miyagi. Daniel would get his butt kicked and he'd be throwing his bike in the dumpster. You know what I'm saying? There would be no Karate Kid without Miyagi, and of course the late great Pat Morita. All right, so let's wrap it up here. I got a couple more things. We've got, of course, the introduction to Tori with an Y. Tori with a Y. A lot of people are wondering where this character comes from. I'm thinking, I don't know, is it too much to hope that she's the daughter of Allie? Huh? That's kind of interesting because that would make sense. I mean, you don't really reference a gag like that if there's no tie-in, I don't think. I think you need the tie-in. I think they kind of betrayed that that's Allie's daughter. Again, there's no word on, there's no confirmation that Elizabeth Shue is coming back, but it would make sense story-wise to. I think they said she was in Colorado or something, but this could be sort of a coy way to say that she somehow is a troubled youth that I don't know, made her way down here because she wanted to be a part of the Cobra Kai. That, of course, is Peyton List, known from the Disney Channel, but that is not the Peyton List from Gotham. No way you can get those two confused. Of course, also here, take a look at this. This is going to come into play later. Her dog collar bracelet, which is going to come into play. Let's see. This is a great shot. This is kind of like, I mean, this is the pathos of the whole show right here, where this is where it all started. This is where the whole thing started, on the beach with Johnny and Daniel confronting each other. And I think in some ways Johnny never left that beach. And here he is looking at the sunset and the Coors banquet in hand. And it's very poignant that they still come back to that. Again, it shows the love that these showrunners have for the property. It's very, very admirable. Something interesting here where Johnny says, I want to know what you're teaching my students. So obviously, Crease is kind of worming his way in. It's like a power struggle, I think, between them two. He's working with him, but the power play is, I don't know, it's shifting into Crease's favor, because it looks like his proteges, his Cobra Kai, are becoming more and more violent and more aggressive. It's interesting. When I had the Cobra, now I'm saying the Karate Kid action figures when I was a kid, and we used to play with the Cobra Kai action figures. I never really took it that Johnny left the Cobra Kai. For some reason, I always still had him working in tandem with Crease. So this kind of works to the way I always seen the Karate Kid sequel going, because like once Chosen and Sato broke off, it's kind of like Sato was a good guy, so I wouldn't let him fight Miyagi or whatever. Because you could do that storyline that they never really paid off in Karate Kid 2, where Sato was wanting to fight Miyagi. You could do that with the action figures. But I kind of always had Johnny sticking with Crease, because it kind of felt like, but I think at some point I even had them break apart and had Johnny break off from the Cobra Kai, and he didn't like fight Daniel anymore. So I think at some point they're gonna have to address this. That is Johnny a villain because he can't stay with Crease all this time. If he is, he's gonna have to break ties with him eventually. But I think that their past is so connected. It's hard not to see them working together. And here, this is the great scene where Daniel goes to the Cobra Kai dojo to confront Sensei Lawrence, and he says the senseis are not supposed to teach dishonor and destruction, disrespect and destruction, something like that. And Crease is there in the background. Again, this is I'm not sure. This is the interesting thing. I don't know if there's going to be a competition. They certainly haven't shown one, and I don't think they're going to have a competition every season. In fact, they admitted they're not going to have a competition every season. But you see, there seems to be a presentation that both the Cobra Kai and the Miyagi-Do are doing. Johnny's breaking cement bricks with flames on them. So there is probably some kind of demonstration that's, I guess, meant to get the attention of potential enlistees. All right, so let's see. We'll wrap it up here. This is the way I think that the season will end, where Tori with a Y is going to fight Samantha, and I think it's tough to tell. I think this is in the school because there's two fights. There's a mall fight and there's a school fight. I think this is the school fight, and it's interesting because what is the line? She says something like "This is for real" or something like that. Again, another callback to the Karate Kid Part 2, and you see Miguel and Robbie both running down the hallways, very agitated, which is why I think it's connected to this scene. I think the season's going to end with Samantha getting severely beaten. Although that's kind of like I don't know if you want to go 2 seasons in a row with a Cobra Kai member winning. That would be different. But then again, you go 3 movies with the Karate Kid winning Daniel, so it's possible. But the show is called Cobra Kai. But I think what's going to happen is she's going to severely beat Samantha, and I think it's going to cause some friction because I think up till now, I think Miguel is interested in Tori, and of course Robbie is more interested in Sam. That's why I think they're both running towards whatever this incident is taking place at. So yeah, there we go. We got the final image here, which is the one I think everybody was drooling over and salivating over and just getting oh so giddy and excited about. We're going to see Johnny and Daniel mix it up at least one more time. This is kind of, see, this is, everybody like wanted to see this in the first season, but they had them getting along so well. It's kind of like you don't want them to ruin it now. That's why I kind of felt like maybe this should have been in the first season, and now we could have the sort of frenemy vibe. But still, this is the payoff that everybody wants to see. You want to see them mix it up again. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get that in like Creed 2 when we had all the buildup of Drago and Rocky together in the same space. And I if they did film a scene where they mixed it up and they cut it out, that film is the victim of bad editing choices. Because I've heard of a lot of things that were probably going to be in that movie that weren't. Well, we'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, so it looks like Johnny's going to get the best of him again here, at least judging by the trailer. So there you go. Once again, there is the Cobra Kai Season 2 second trailer. And pretty exciting. I mean, let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you really looking forward to this as much as I am? I'm probably, I don't know, I think it's only 10 episodes, right? I'm probably going to try to watch the first season again before the second season comes out. And yeah, I mean, speculations, I just gave pretty much all my speculations during that. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Tori with a Y is related to Allie with an I? Why would she say that if she weren't? Some people are saying that she could be related to Crease, possibly a daughter, but more likely a granddaughter. I don't know. I think that's going. I don't know. I think that's going a little too far. Stretching credulity, trying to get another offspring of one of the Cobra Kai members involved. I don't think that's gonna happen. What's the relationship between Tori and Miguel? Is it going to be as I'm suspecting? Sparks going to fly? We already know there will be with Robbie and Samantha. So a lot of questions to be answered. How is John Kreese going to get Johnny Lawrence under his thumb once again? What's the ultimate resolution between Daniel and Johnny in the end of the season? Are they going to, come to some kind of tentative truce? Maybe so far as an alliance if Kreese becomes too much of an issue. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you once again for joining me. Thank you for joining me if you joined me live. Hunter Iggy, thank you for bringing up the Black Adam, Dwayne The Rock Johnson comment. I will look into that and we will talk about it in the next video. Well, scratch that. Not the next video. The next video is going to be Wednesday, and we are going to be talking about Shazam. I will be seeing Shazam tomorrow night, and we will be doing a full broadcast talking spoilers. I think sometimes I don't do it live, sometimes I do, but because it's difficult doing a movie review and taking questions. But what'll happen is I'll probably do the movie review for the first half hour, and then I'll kind of open it up to if you want to talk about it. I'll 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 talk to the chat. And so yeah, so we're doing like 3 videos this week. Really exciting stuff. Really exciting times to be a superhero fan, to be a Karate Kid fan. A lot of stuff going on in April. So once again, please check out the link in the comments below. In the description below, we have the link to my Twitter page. You can check out my Twitter page. You can check out my website, The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Comics. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. Came up short last year, but we're going to do it this year. And we only need about 14 more. So if you have any friends out there that are interested in talking pop culture, comic book related properties, and so forth, be sure to pass this link around, share the videos. And as always, I'm always answering questions in the chat and in the comments. So if you have any questions or a topic like Hunter suggested that I can look into, be sure to leave them. And I will do my best to read them. Until next we meet, this is Johnny Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.